you touch my tra-la-la? My ding-ding-dong.
And welcome to Twisted Universe. Some people call me Joker, and this is my hetero life mate, not so silent Buck.
Hey.
So this week we want to talk about, actually, we're going to continue the kind of trolling thing. There was this girl.
Well, it's not really a troll this week, so.
Yeah, not really a trolling this week. There's a girl on YouTube, OfficialNakedNerd. Anyway, she made a video, said, basically saying, if you like Batman, it doesn't make your dick bigger. That's the title of her video. You should check it out, which you could probably find it through this.
Right.
So basically what she's saying is, these geek guys, they find out that you like something, and then they come along and they're like, oh, well, I've liked Batman for 10 years more than you. That makes me a better fan, or whatever. Basically, she's saying, just because you like Batman or like that kind of stuff, it's not a dick measuring contest. And there was actually a few people that was commenting on her thing, basically saying, asking her why she was pretty much naked, which she's in a bra. She's covered up. She's not really naked.
Right.
But they're giving her shit about it. And basically, it's stressing the point she's making in the video. Talking about just because she's pretty and naked doesn't make her any less of a fan of this subculture.
Right. Well, it's kind of her gimmick, and with the whole bra thing, it's like her gimmick, but that's the thing with her. It's her gimmick. I get it. I understand. Yeah. But, I mean, she's kind of doing it, too, just to get views.
Yeah. Well, she does a show called Naked News, where, basically these girls do the news and they strip, and it's their thing. It's like you say, it's a gimmick. It's just a gimmick. But it's not like some of these people that are commenting. They're like, you don't have to be a net whore to just get views or whatever. It's her thing. Like me and Buck have the Twisted Universe shit. We have the Reverend and Jay Creeper, and we have gimmicks. Everybody has a gimmick. But it was very. I thought her video. I guess this makes me more of a geek. I don't know. I was listening to what she was saying instead of being distracted by her boobs.
I actually agree with what she says, to be honest with you, because we see this a lot. We really do. All it takes is, something new and wacky coming out, and people freak out over it and like, oh, I'm into this so much, and all they've done is actually seen the movies. And the movie or the movies, and that's it. Yeah,
like the whole Dark Knight thing. This is one of those things where why I don't like the Heath Ledger Joker, and it's not because I hate the Heath Ledger Joker, which this has made me hate the Heath Ledger Joker. It's because of these fanboys that when they saw the Dark Knight, that's the only Joker they've seen, and they're like, oh, I've always been into the Joker, and I know everything about the Joker. Joker's awesome. And then you ask them questions about Joker in the comics, and they don't know anything about it. And that doesn't make them any less of a geek, any less of a fanboy, but that's kind of, it's one of those things where well, I've liked Joker forever. I'm like, yeah, well, I've liked it for about 30 years. But I guess in a way, basically what she's saying, them saying that, and then me saying, I've liked Joker longer, it doesn't make me more of a fan, which I'm the #1 fan. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, here's the thing. When it comes to that, when it comes to any kind of genre at all, anything new that comes out that's popular, we'll have these guys. Period. End of discussion. New video game comes out. New movie comes out. New role-playing game comes out. And if it instantly is a hit and popular, all right, Gundam style. Yeah. Prime example. Okay? Name me one other song Psy has done. Exactly. Exactly. And here's the thing. He's a megastar. But he was a megastar in Korea. North Korea or wherever before Gundam style would come out. He was a big, huge. He was like the Justin Timberlake of like North Korea or whatever. But Americans can't name. I can't name. I mean, one other song that he's done. A lot of them don't even know his name. His name is Psy. So, I mean, it's a prime example for that. I mean, one of the most recent is Gundam Style. Oh, Gundam Style. I love him. It's so great. Really? What other song do you like?
Exactly.
He's got more than one. Yeah. You don't do a concert and just do one fucking song.
Yeah. Pretty much. And like basically, I get like. Basically, this is how kind of, I don't know if this is exactly what she meant to, the message she meant to get across, but this is kind of what I got. Like, it's those type of people that are like, well, I've been a fan this long, and basically, they discourage new fans. Like, they're like, I don't care if you like Batman, I've liked him longer, so you're shit. And basically, that's how we get shit like The Dark Knight. Like, the new 52...
like nipple Batman.
Like the new 52 comics where Joker's face is cut off. Those are the fans. It kind of seems like those are the fans who are like, okay, fuckers, I'll just make my own version. And then those
that makes no sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense. And because there was at some point, I guarantee you, at some point, there was a guy that said, you don't like Batman as much as I do, so you don't know nothing. Instead of going, oh, I like Batman too, this is what I know about Batman. And it's kind of, in a way, teaching these noobs about the thing. It's like if you play a game like World of Warcraft,
right,
and you're level 1, you don't know anything about World of Warcraft, and then like a level 50 comes by, or a level 80 now?
90.
90. A level 90 comes by, and they're like, you're shit, you're a noob, you shouldn't be here. I'm better than you because I'm level 90. Well, and then like the level 1 person's like, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna play no more.
Yeah, I mean. Shit like that happens all the time. Okay, another prime example. New players to role-playing, like pen and paper role-playing games. You get these... There's two groups of people when it comes to pen and paper role-players. You have the old-school role-players that enjoy the game and want more people to play it.
Yeah.
And then you've got the other group, which is, we play Dungeons and Dragons. You should know... Before you come to this game, you better read every book. You better memorize all this information. So when I say something to you, you better know it.
Yeah. Instead of teaching these new people, like if there was someone, I don't know. This is just what I'm thinking. If there was someone that was like, okay, I like the Joker.
Right.
And if there was a new Joker fan that come out and they're like, well, I like the Joker too, and I'm like, okay, and then they say something like, Heath Ledger Joker is the definitive Joker because he's exactly like the comics. Now, if I was the type of fan that was like, no, you're fucking stupid, you should just go off. Instead, I'm usually like, no, that's not how Joker is. Joker don't wear makeup. And like, I try to teach them, Joker don't wear makeup. He don't have scars. He's funny. And like, if they like the Joker, that's great. Like, I try to kind of corral them to like the classic comic book Joker so they know where they're coming from.
Right.
But then after that point, if they're still like, well, Heath Ledger's still the best, I'd just like fuck off because I don't like the Heath Ledger Joker. But
I'm the same way. But okay, as everyone out there knows, I'm Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I'm the Star Wars nut. Read books. I mean, I run a pen and paper Star Wars role playing game. The revised core edition, not the West End games. But I love the West End games. They're still awesome. But anyway, that's besides the point. But, I'm the same way, but with episode 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, listen, episode 1 is great and all, but actually, if you go to here and you read about this stuff, this stuff is awesome and actually leads into this. And this is the reason why in episode 1 it's kind of bullshit. It's because of this and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And, blah, 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 blah. They're like, nope, episode 1's the best. I'm like, fuck off then.
Yeah.
Because, my favorite one is, of course, Empire Strikes Back, but,
Yeah, we actually got in a conversation about that. Phantom Menace, to him, that's his Dark Knight.
Right, it's my Dark Knight.
He's the Star Wars guy. I'm the Joker guy. I hate Dark Knight. Phantom Menace is his Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. Naboo is my League of Shadows.
Now, speaking of the Dark Knight, now we said last episode that we were actually going to do a redubbing of the Dark Knight Rises. Buck, at that point, Buck had not seen the Dark Knight Rises yet. So we found it. It came out on DVD, so I found it online because I refused to pay for that piece of shit. And I sent him the link. After watching the link, finally he realized why I would have a hard time watching it again.
I actually went to him and was like, let's just talk about it. So, because the movie itself makes fun of itself. I don't know how we could actually make fun of it anymore. Yeah. I don't understand that. I mean, because the movie itself is dumb and stupid. Yeah.
So we're gonna review the Dark Knight Rises. After that, I have a rant that I do about the Dark Knight trilogy that apparently one of our friends finds hilarious because of the way I do it, and apparently I have some facial expression I do. I don't know, but like, so after that, that's what I'm gonna do for you people. So you get to see how I feel about the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, from beginning to end. So from the first movie to the last.
Now, okay, so moving on, we'll go ahead. Now, the Dark Knight Rises. It was so horrible. I rank this movie in the same category as George Clooney, Batman and Robin, Mr. Freeze, chill. Because it's...
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Like, because it's so bad. Like, Bane makes no sense. Bane had a potential to be a great character.
He really did. I mean, I like, to be honest with you, I mean, I know a lot of people, I know you don't like it, but I actually liked the way Bane looked. Yeah. Not the mask, but like, physically, how he looked. I enjoyed that, because I thought the costume itself, except for the stupid mask, was great. Yeah.
If he had, because Bane wears the luchador mask. Basically, that's what he is. He's big, which they portrayed his personality right. He's big, he can hurt people, he is a genius. But it's just that they try to cram too much in one movie to make it the epic ending, and they pushed first 20 minutes of it, you're so confused, like, because it's pushing, and you can't really follow. Like, I had a hard time following it. Now,
you can push a movie like that and make it make sense.
But there was just so much stuff. Now let me remind you people. I went to the premiere of this. It was a marathon of all three movies. I dressed like the Joker, not the Heath Ledger Joker, the classic Joker. I dressed like the Joker to go see this movie. Apparently, I was the only one dressed up, except for the guy that worked at the movie theaters dressed like Batman. But I was the only one dressed up, and so, but I'll get to the importance of that later. Okay, so watch The Dark Knight Rises. Apparently, Bruce Wayne has not been Batman for 8 years.
That's
At the end of The Dark Knight, when he falls off with Two-Face, he hurts his knee so bad that he cannot be Batman, which makes no sense. Because at the end of The Dark Knight, he runs off. Off. And in this movie, he's got like this harness thing on his knee, and he's walking with a cane.
Well, he gets the harness thing, so he can move. Before, he's just giving the gig.
He's hobbling around. Now, okay, I'm going to try to do this movie from start to finish. It might go back and forth.
You might jump a little bit.
Okay, so the movie starts out, they're having Harvey Dent Day to remember Harvey Dent and all the good things he's done, all this stuff. Now, Commissioner Gordon, he's which I get this part about Commissioner Gordon. He's pissed off because he's honoring a man that threatened his family, all that stuff. So he's wrote a speech about who Harvey Dent really was, about the Two-Face and all that stuff. Now, here's the problem I have with that. Eventually, it does come out that, because Bane somehow, this is later on in the movie, but we'll go ahead and touch on it. Bane somehow finds this speech of Commissioner Gordon's.
Well, he gets it when Commissioner Gordon falls into the sewer. Yeah. That's when he gets it. And
so he reads out loud about Harvey Dent turning into this monster, blah, 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 blah. Now, okay, everybody is still knows how diehard I am about Heath Ledger Joker and how much I don't like him. but not one mention of him. Because he's the reason Harvey Dent turned into the Madman. He's the reason all this shit happened in the last one for them to be doing this.
Right, they could have done a flashback. Yeah. They could have, done something.
Yeah, they could have done something. And it just, as much as I hate that Joker, he fits the story. He's in that universe. And you can't tell me that Batman's not been around for 8 years and Joker has done nothing. He's just sitting, he apparently, because at the end of the last movie, he goes to Arkham. Or that's implied. Right. So you can't tell me that within that 8 years, he's done nothing to get Batman's attention. He's just sitting in his cell. And that makes no sense. Now, while they're having this Harvey Dent thing, Alfred is heading up all these servants and people that got all the butlers and stuff, and he has this waitress take a tray up to what you later find out is Bruce Wayne's study, and he tells her set the tray on the table and leave. And so she goes up there, she cracks the safe in that room and steals Bruce Wayne's mother's necklace, the pearl necklace, which also doesn't make sense because it broke. But anyway,
and why is there a tracking device?
Yeah, why is there a tracking device? The point. Also, okay, this guy was Batman. He doesn't have major security in his own house. He's Batman, and he just has a little bitty safe that some woman can come in and go doot, 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 and get it.
She'll put the doctor thing in, put it up there, and listen.
Yeah. It makes no sense. And then okay, so Christopher Nolan, he's all about realism, and these movies were supposed to be, if this happened in the real world, this is how it would happen. In that scene, after she gets the pearls, Bruce Wayne catches her, and she backflips out the window. 3 stories.
Right.
Or however tall Wayne Manor is where this room is. She flips out the window and lands safely. Like it's nothing.
Right.
Like she should have broke her legs.
Right. But
she's the cat. She's not Catwoman. My bad. She's not Catwoman. She's the cat. Now, so Bane shows up. He's doing all this... Oh, no. He's doing all this bullshit. He kidnaps Commissioner Gordon, throws him in the sewer, all that. This kid shows up. This kid cop, John Blake. Now, for anybody that doesn't, not really adverse...
Well, hold on, before you get to that. Here's a big thing that I don't get. When Commissioner Gordon falls into the sewers, right? And Bane gets him. He gets away. Commissioner Gordon gets away from Bane. And when he finds when they find him, he's like, there's a man in the sewers. His name's Bane. And I'm like, how does he know his name's Bane? He never told him. At all.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So, with all that stuff, this little cop kid, his name's John Blake. And he's the Robin of the movie for everyone that's seen the movie. It's bullshit. Now, for anybody that doesn't know, John Blake, there was an old comic strip. It was just like a one-shot thing where this kid is coming home from school. He's got a report card. It's all A's. And he's excited to show his dad. And he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe I finally got all A's on my report card. And Joker runs by and he goes, no, yoink, and yanks it out of his hand and runs away. And he's like, ah, ha, ha. And he's like, God, my dad's never going to believe me for this. That kid's name is Johnny Blake. So that's where that name comes from. Now, he shows up at Wayne Manor, telling Bruce Wayne about Commissioner Gordon and all this stuff. And Bruce Wayne's like, why are you coming to me? And he's like, I know you're Batman. He hasn't seen Batman for 8 years, but
No, he's not seen Batman longer than that.
And he instantly knows he's Batman. His story is, he was an orphan in an orphanage. Bruce Wayne and some woman shows up, and he says he looks at Bruce Wayne's face and knows instantly that he's Batman. What?
I mean, it's not... he don't have the Clark Kent Superman thing going on.
It's not like he has glasses.
Yeah. It's not
and
that
Batman
easy.
sticks to the shadows. So when would he have ever seen Batman? Now, see, if they if anybody's seen Batman Begins, the one scene where Batman's hanging on the roof, he's got the telescope thing, and he's watching Scarecrow and people, and there's a kid on the fire escape. His parents are fighting, and there's a kid on the fire escape, and he looks at me and he sees Batman, and he's like, "It's you!" And Batman tosses him. He's like, "The kids will never believe me," and Batman gives him his telescope. If that John Blake guy was that kid, it would make so much more sense. But he's not.
Right. But we don't need to make that. That don't need to make sense. This is a Batman movie, apparently.
See, I don't.
He's just the ultimate
I don't
detective,
see this as a
you know,
Batman movie, but we'll go more into that here in a minute. Now, after he tells him he's Batman, tells him about Bane, he goes to the cave, all this stuff. He's like, "I'm going to be Batman again." Blah 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 blah. Alfred quits. Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, it's like Alfred's like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Wayne. I've been in 2 of the other movies. This movie's already shit. I'm gonna collect my movie check and leave." So he
I'm gonna get my check and get out.
he quits. He's like, "If you're gonna do this, I'm not gonna be around anymore." So, in the whole of the movie, Batman's only in the movie for maybe the most about 15 to 20 minutes. And every time he shows up, he gets his ass kicked. Like, yeah.
And the movie is a 2-hour-long movie.
And like, there's only one thing in the whole movie I found funny. And it's when he has the cat. And they're standing on the roof, and he's like, she's talking about telling him what Bane's up to and all this stuff. And he turns around, and he's like, "Well, you need to be careful." And he turns back around, and she leaves. She's gone. And he goes, "Oh, that's what it feels like." That was funny. That was the only part of the movie I actually enjoyed. So, overall, like, I want to save some of this for the rant I'm going to do later. But overall, the movie, in my opinion, this movie was so bad. It's not even. It cannot even be considered a Batman movie. Mate. Yeah,
it was a great Bruce Wayne. It was a great Bane movie.
And like, there was just so much stuff that happened that didn't make sense. It was so rushed. Like, people was showing up and knew things that you're like, how the fuck? How did they know that?
Did they cut shit out? It feels like to me they cut shit out of like the cut stuff. Isn't this important?
It doesn't make sense. Now, the biggest thing about this is, now, we have a friend, whenever we talk about stuff like that, and she's always like, "Well, I can separate myself from the source material." Well, I can do that with certain movies, but if you're going to use something for source material, use the source material. Like, Tim Burton's Batman movie, it was separated from the source material, but it was still close enough to still be a good movie. Like, it kept, like, everything that made Batman good. Like, it made the darkness of Batman, the brooding. It kept Joker and the chemicals, and his, like, when he finds out, like, yeah, I gotta contend with Batman, blah 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 blah. Like, that itself, that's a good comic book movie. Even though in that movie they give Joker a real name and Joker's never had a real name, I can, based on the rest of the movie, I can get past that. But with this trilogy, the only thing I can think of is someone came in and said, we need to make a movie, we need to make it sell, and the first thing they thought was Batman. Let's attach Batman to it, and it'll sell. Now, see, that's how they sell toys.
That's how they sell toys. So that's why you get like Aqua Batman and Space Batman.
Batman on it, and it'll sell.
Shit like
now,
that.
see, these movies are good movies. They're great movies, but not great Batman movies. Like, I could like The Dark Knight if they didn't call Heath Ledger's character the Joker. If he was another character, that would have been an awesome movie. But like, it doesn't. The only thing, because it has nothing to do with anything else. Everybody always says like that Heath Ledger Joker is a great representation of the comic book Joker, but he's not. The only thing he does that the comic book Joker does is the multiple stories about how he got the scars. Which
it's kind of like, okay, separating yourself from the source material. It's kind of like it's another movie that does that. I don't know. Pick out one. Any of them. Any of these old movies getting Footloose. Prime example. Footloose actually kind of pays. I mean, it's its own movie, but it pays homage. To the old stuff, and that's why the new Footloose movie is actually fairly good.
But I don't know. Now, see, the thing is,
I mean, it's not that bad. It's like the Dukes of Hazzard movie.
Yeah, prime example.
Okay.
It's
Dukes of Hazzard. You
have to separate from it. The Dukes of Hazzard movie, I thought was a good movie, but people that are fans of the show hate it, so I can understand. Now.
Right. And it's one of them things, like, because in my opinion, I don't think it's a Dukes of Hazzard movie for the simple reason they cuss in it. And in my world, the Dukes of Hazzard, there's no cussing.
Well, to me, that's just a modernized, like how the Dukes would be in today's age. Now, like, take it Marvel for example. All the Marvel movies that's come out, they have source material. They did not separate themselves from the source material. You watch those movies and you're like, this is almost 95% like the comic book. Like, everything is right. So why can't DC do the same thing? Why does they have to get these people in here? It's like, well, I want to do my own version of Batman. Nobody wants to see your version of Batman. They want to see Batman they grew up with. They want to see Batman in the comics. They don't want to see Joker who wears makeup. They don't want to see Batman who gets his ass kicked every time he shows up. They don't want to see this stuff. They don't want to see a kid who's supposed to be Robin and he's not Dick Grayson. I understand these movie directors are like, I want to do my own version. Great. Do your own version. Don't do it here. Make your own version and don't call it Batman. You're making an Elseworlds comic that was a one-shot. That's like taking the Elseworlds. Okay, anybody out there that doesn't know, Elseworlds is a line of comics DC used to do, basically setting the heroes in different planes of existence in their own stories. There was a pirate Batman who faces off against a pirate Joker. Now, that's like taking that one comic book that was not a series, that one-shot comic book, and turning it into a movie, and ignoring the 60 or so years of Batman history.
Batman material.
You don't separate yourself from the source material. If you're going to use something for source material, use the source material. Don't pick and choose. If you say, I'm going to use Batman for source material, but I'm only taking the name, that's dumb. And that movie was so bad. Okay, there's one scene in the movie. Hold on, I got smoke for this. There's one scene in the movie, and everybody has seen The Dark Knight. They've seen the interrogation scene where Batman's like, "Where are they? Where are they?" Well, they tried to redo that. Like, they're trying to capture, I don't know, the moment, the other moment. And, like,
the moments in the other movies. And they did throw a scarecrow in to kind of capture the first movie.
So Bane has got some nuclear bomb in the city. Basically, it felt to me like anybody that knows the No Man's Land story from Batman, they've taken that story and put it in this movie. Just because. Like, that's what it feels like. So, for no reason. And so Batman's trying to find the trigger for the bomb. And he goes to Bane and he's like, "Where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? Where's?" And he says it like 6, 7, 8 times. And mind you, I'm sitting in the audience dressed like the Joker, and because of this scene, I just cannot help but go, and it was, and I didn't do it on purpose. It was an uncontrollable urge to laugh at this ridiculous scene where Batman's punching Bane in the face over and over 7, 8 times, using that awful voice. "Where's the trigger?
Where's the trigger?
And I was laughing so hard. The people around me just was looking at me like, "You're fucked up." And so I turned with the person that was sitting next to me, and I go, "I sure hope he finds that trigger." So anyway, so Talia is in the movie, which for no reason, taking up her father's mantle or whatever. Which makes no reason, because Talia loves Bruce Wayne. She's in love with Bruce Wayne. And
this one, she's kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Like, when she reveals that she's Talia, I knew it was Talia right off. As soon as that woman showed up, I knew it was Talia. But when she shows up, she's all of a sudden, "Kill Batman, kill Batman, kill Batman." That's dumb. And then the whole ending scene where, like, right before Batman decides to fly off, and he tells Commissioner Gordon about putting a coat around a little boy's shoulders, and all of a sudden Commissioner Gordon goes, "That's Bruce Wayne!" And then he flies off into the sunset, blows up, and dies. Or supposedly dies. And then, like, later on, Alfred shows up to the funeral, and he's crying. He's like, "You should have been here, blah, blah, blah." And then, like...
I was just here to get my motherfucking movie check.
Yeah. And then early on in the movie, before he leaves, he tells Bruce Wayne that the 7 years he was off training in Batman Begins, that he said he hoped he would never came back. And he hoped that... And he took a vacation, like, every month or something.
Every year.
To this diner in, like, Venice or something. And he said he had this fantasy where he looks across and he sees Bruce Wayne maybe with a wife and kids, and they don't say anything, they just nod, and that's it. Well, at the end of the movie, after everybody thinks he's dead, it shows Alfred at the same cafe. He looks over, he sees Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle, they nod, and that's it. And then John Blake goes to the bottom of Wayne Manor and raises up, and apparently he's supposed to be the new Batman. And that's how it ends. And that's stupid. And everybody's now... See, Christopher Nolan has stated this will be the last one he does.
Thank God.
Thank God. And everybody's like, "Oh, there's going to be another one because of that scene." No, there's not. Now, I have heard some rumors that Joseph Gordon-Levitt, whatever his name is, he is going to be the next Batman when they reboot the franchise. Now, I can see he might do a good Batman. But he's not going to be from that universe. It's going to be a complete different movie.
Hopefully, the next time they do it, it will make sense and not be stupid.
Yeah. Okay, so now that we've reviewed it, this is my summary of the Dark Knight trilogy story.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. All right, so this is basically how the trilogy goes. Batman Begins starts out pretty good. Bruce Wayne goes to train. He's gone for 7 years. And finally comes back. Everybody thinks he's dead. Yada, 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 yada. He tries to be this ninja guy who almost kills himself, jumping off of Commissioner Gordon's rooftop of the GCPD. And here's the problem with the Dark Knight trilogy. Every time Batman shows up, he gets his ass whooped. First time he's Batman and goes up against Scarecrow, Scarecrow whoops his ass. He sets him on fire, and he calls Alfred. He's like, Alfred, come get me! Come get me! I'm a little boy. I'm a pussy.
I'm afeared.
I'm so scared. I'm scared, Alfred. Okay, so Alfred comes, gets him, and then, like, he goes through some more motions, and, like, that's pretty much Batman Begins. He gets beat up. He goes away for, like, 3 days, comes back, sets his house on fire. Or Ra's al Ghul sets his house on fire, and then he decides at the end of that he's not going to save Ra's al Ghul. There's Batman Begins. The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight, pretenders come out. They're trying to be Batman. Batman tells them not to wear hockey pads. Joker shows up. He steals Mobster's money.
Then burns it.
Burns it. He's not very funny. I don't think that Joker's very funny. Batman shows up, and they whoop the shit out of Batman. Oh, no, he quits. He quits in that one. He's like, I'm not going to be Batman no more. He tells Harvey Dent to hold a press conference so he can turn himself in. And so he does that, and then he decides not to because he pusses out. And then Harvey Dent takes his place. And then Joker tries to kill Harvey Dent. Batman shows up. All this gobbly stuff happens. Joker decides to make Harvey Dent crazy by turning him into, like, this freak show. Rachel Dawes dies. That's a good thing because she annoyed the shit out of me. So then, Joker causes Two-Face to go crazy. Two-Face goes around, kills people. Batman captures the Joker, and at the end of it, he hits Two-Face, they fall off, and he damages his knee, apparently. Kills Commissioner Gordon. Blame it on me, blame it on me. And then that's the end of Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises. Okay, he's not been Batman for 8 years. Doesn't make sense at all. And he's hobbling around upstairs in the shadows, being all mysterious like. Catwoman shows up. The cat shows up, steals his mom's pearls, jumps out the window because she's a cat person, and then runs off. She's fine. She doesn't get hurt. Batman, he finally decides to be Batman again. He puts some brace on his knee so he can walk. He shows up for about 10 minutes, runs into Bane. Bane breaks his back and sends him to this prison that Bane grew up in. And, apparently you find out later that Talia grew up in, not Bane. Bane gets a shit kicked out of him and gets thrown out of that prison. Rachel Gould shows up, saves him, puts that stupid Darth Vader mask on him, and he comes...
Sounds like he's talking into a cup.
I can't even do it because it's that gay.
It's the League of Shadows.
I can't even do it. So then, Bruce Wayne, he sends Bruce Wayne to that prison and sets up a TV so he can watch the destruction of Gotham City. There's a doctor in the same cell with him who nurses him back to health. He hoists him up with the rope. He puts this rope around his shoulders, hoists him up with the rope. And he's like, you got 3 vertebrae out of place. And he's like, I do. And he goes, yeah. Pow! And he goes, ah! And so that fixes his broken back. So then he has
Because that's how you fix a broken back.
Because that's how you do it. So then Bruce Wayne decides he's going to scale the wall because they said there's only been one other person do it. Through the whole movie, they make you think it's Bane, but clearly looking at Bane, he can't do shit. So then he could not. He's too bulky to do something like that. Anyway, child turns out to be Talia that scaled the wall to get out. Bruce Wayne does it, gets out. Now by this time, Bane's already taken over Gotham City. He's already got a nuclear warhead planted in the city, and he tells everybody he's got one of Gotham's citizens has the trigger. Now this would have been an awesome time to introduce the Joker back into the Dark Knight, because the citizen that had the trigger could have been the Joker. Would have been a good idea. Even though I hate that Joker, would have been great. But they decided not to do that, and I decided to make the movie not make sense by not saying Joker at all, because apparently he didn't do anything to cause enough memories. Okay, so then Bruce Wayne, then it shows the cat saving some girl from being mugged from these gangster people. And Bruce Wayne all of a sudden is there. He's under a bridge. Like, how long did it take him to get from that prison there? He just shows up and it's him. So he asks Catwoman for help, and then he goes, he finds John Blake who's fighting these gangsters or whatever. Batman shows up and helps him, and he tells him, if you're going to do this, you're going to have to wear a mask. Fuck you, Batman. You didn't write the rules. But anyway, so he tells him he has to wear a mask if he's going to do that to protect people. Finally, he goes and finds Bane. Where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? Where's the trigger? Beats the shit out of Bane's mask. Talia reveals herself that she's Talia. She's the one with the trigger, and stabs Batman and fixes Bane's mask and tells Batman how good of a friend Bane is. Forever in the friend zone. Now, saves her life from the prison, does everything she wants him to do with the nuclear warhead, still stuck in the friend zone. Okay, so then after all that, she fixes Bane's mask, because apparently the mask helps him to breathe. And then while he's getting ready to kill Batman again, the cat shows up on the Batpod and shoots Bane with the cannon on it. Done with Bane. So then they got to take care of the nuclear warhead. They gets Commissioner Gordon to hook it to the bat. The jet that he's flying, it's not the Batwing, it's not the Batcopter, it's not the Batjet, it's called the Bat, because that's original name. So anyway, he hooks it to the nuclear thing. He flies off into the before revealing to Commissioner Gordon he's Bruce Wayne, with his little story about the coat being put on the kid's shoulders, and he realizes he flies off. Boom! No more Batman. So then he goes back.
And Gotham is saved.
And Gotham is saved. Batman's dead. They hold a funeral. Now, this is how popular Bruce Wayne is. They hold a funeral for Bruce Wayne, and only John Blake, Commissioner Gordon, and Alfred show up. Because even Morgan Freeman was like, I got my money check, and I left. Fuck that shit. So, they didn't... Lucius Fox even knew he was Batman, so why wasn't he in that last scene? He wasn't. Okay, so everybody's gone. Nobody was like, fuck this movie. I'm glad he's dead. And then the end scene with Alfred seeing Bruce Wayne with Selena Kyle, they ran away, and then John Blake raising up on the platform to allude that he's the new Batman. The end. Thank God. Thank God Christopher Nolan has decided to make no more, because this movie, The Dark Knight Trilogy, is so bad. It's on DVD now, so I see commercials for it on TV, and it makes me...
Don't buy it. Do not buy it. Please illegally download it.
Like, I would not even recommend watching it, but if you have to, watch it illegally. You know what? We tell people to watch stuff illegally a lot. Do not
buy Ted.
Buy Ted.
Ted's out on DVD.
Ted is
buy
a
it.
movie. Buy Ted. Any of the DC animated movies that come out are
buy
good.
them. They're awesome.
Buy those. Support those movies. Do not support Christopher Nolan anymore.
Stop.
Christopher Nolan is the Michael Bay to Batman. And you all know how we feel.
Michael Bay destroyed Transformers and tried to destroy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Thank God that shit got stopped.
Yeah. So that's our show. Thanks for listening to our rants and reviews. And one more thing. Speaking of the liking Batman does not make your dick bigger. Liking Batman does not make your dick bigger. But liking Joker does. Remember that. We'll see you next time.
All right, everybody. Have a week.
Like us on here. Subscribe.
I actually subscribe to the Naked News chick. That she seems pretty informative.
She's pretty cool. So yeah, subscribe to her.
Like us on Facebook. Buy shit from our Cafe Press, which is Twisted Universe 1.
Yeah.
Our channel on YouTube is Twisted Universe 1.
Everything is Twisted Universe 1.
Right, everything's Twisted Universe 1. We'll post it at the end of the video.
Yeah.
And I believe that's it. Have a week.
Thanks for watching.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
Killing them would be wasteful.
Not if we eat them.
You sick mother...